These are the T2 Evos, evolving backwards, thin audio style. Now, disclaimer before we start review, this unit was given by Brian. This is Brian's unit. Okay, this review is just complete of my own honest opinion. I'm not affiliated to the store, brand, whatsoever. And for any children watching, get off this video. It's gonna be lots of cursing, lots of profanity. Right? Go to your mommy, go to sleep. Don't watch videos with Jay and Rant in the same sentence. Bad idea. Okay. And for any people who can't stand profanity or excessive cursing, get off this video. Why are you watching something that says Rant in it? Right? Just go off. Okay, I don't normally curse a lot in my videos, or as a matter of fact, at all. Okay, but this is going to be one of those. Okay, because the T2 Evos just triggers something in my brain. It just digs up old horrors, old trauma of listening to the Chronology Zenith Z6, for example. Okay, because these are terrible. Terrible. Fucking terrible. Okay. And I don't want to even bother doing the whole unboxing and stuff, because that's just not worth it. It's a waste of time. You just get 4 pairs of ear tips, you get a leather pouch. The build quality is pretty much the same as the original T2s. There's a fucking hole in the back, like a smiley face, which this is just, you know, this is Tin laughing at you for buying this. Okay. This is what the Tin guys are doing. This is their expression when they see you buying this. Okay, because in a nutshell, the sound signature of this it's just bright, very fucking bright. Okay, you have to have lived next to a cymbal your whole life, right? Being like getting that cymbal smashed next to your head your whole life in order to be able to tolerate the amount of treble that this thing has. Okay. And it's just not the fact that it has lots of treble, okay? It just emphasizes it in the sibilance region over and over again. It's way too much. Almost Z6 levels, okay? It's very hard to listen to. I couldn't listen to this more than 10 minutes at a time. That's why this review took so long, okay? And yeah. Now that that's over, we'll start with the user format. We'll start with bass, which on the T2 Evos, there's not a lot of it. It's the actual definition of neutral, but done a bit wrong. Quite wrong. Okay, the extension is right? The sub-bass rumble, something is there, but it feels very weak, very thin, it decays too quickly, so don't expect a lot of sub-bass with these. Right? You'll definitely be able to hear something, but it's not gonna be much of it. The sub bass also doesn't really slam that much at all. The mid bass punch is also very weak, so if you like to listen to EDM and stuff and you like bass at all, right? Don't get these. The speed is more on the like the medium to fast, actually fast side, and the control is very good. It also doesn't bleed at all to the mid range, so that's probably the biggest positive of the bass on these. All in all, if you like any amount of fucking bass, okay, don't get these, because these almost have none of it at all. Okay, now the mids on these is where you start noticing, okay, that something's has just gone very fucking wrong. Okay, the mids on these are very thin. They sound very thin and hollow. It sounds like you've put like the singer in like a fucking tin can or something like that. It does have some details, I'll give it that. Separation is pretty good, but it just sounds tinny. It's just so tinny, and the upper mids are also shouty, they're very forward. The mid-range on these just aren't good, right? Technicalities wise, they're decent, but everything else is just thrown out the fucking window. And next, after that, when we talk about treble, the treble of these, the first time I listened to these, this reminded of me of the Z6. It's almost as bad as Z6. Okay, it retains that massive amount of like 8K region emphasis, 8 to 9K region emphasis. And not only that, there's also just this sort of like ringing quality to the treble, right? For some reason, it just there's this sort of ring to the treble, which I hate a lot. It's kind of what I felt in the T2 pluses, but it's even more emphasized on these. I don't know how that even happens. It's just unlistenable. Okay, it's Sibilant City in a nutshell. Okay, it's also a bit splashy, and it's just extremely sharp. Listening to something like Through the Fire and Flames from Dragon Force just had me cringing the whole time. I had to just kind of brace myself through the whole song, because every time any cymbals were being struck, it was just pure fucking pain. Okay, and yeah, it's not fun. It's not fun at all. The controls are pretty good. The control on the treble is like, what am I saying? It's not good. I can't even sort my thoughts anymore, because every time I just start. Extension in the treble is pretty good. Details are okay for this price point, but yeah, it's still unlistenable. It's trash. Can't say much more than that. But when we get to Soundstage, I'll give you the fact that the T2 Evos at least have decent soundstage. Okay, if this were my head, the soundstage of these were able to get like up to like 3/4, almost like the whole width of my head. There was also pretty good depth. It was like half the way there from the front of my head. It's pretty damn good. Imaging wise, it was also pretty accurate. I was able to get imaging accuracy of like 45ish degrees with these, which is pretty damn good. Okay, and that's probably the only saving grace of these. So yeah, comparison wise, I don't even need to fucking compare these to anything. You just don't fucking buy these. Why would I bother comparing them? Just don't fucking buy these. If you want something like the T2, just get the old T2s. Or if you can't get those, then get the T2 pluses. They're just fucking better than these, I would suppose. They're not like the original T2s, but they're at least better than these. And if you want a bright signature IEM, get the Hard Sound Hard Mirror. How's it sound? Hard Mirror. I still don't know if it's Hard Sound or How's it sound, whatever it's called. But if you're looking for a bright IEM, this is not it, chief. Okay, unless you are absolutely deaf to cymbals, don't fucking get these. It's utter garbage. I don't want to see it anymore. Just get it out of my fucking face. I still have to do the Indonesian review after this. Oh, for Christ's sake, man. Oh no.